Eric, let's go down through some news, shall we?
All right.
And I am the captain, but you can help me out with my log. So the first thing I wanted to mention is Brian K. Vaughn. Brian
X-Men 2 prequel Wolverines. Brian K. Vaughn.
Scribe is writing apparently a Silver Surfer movie for Fox. Did you know about this?
Yeah, I did. I did hear about this.
I am so of two minds about this. I want to be excited, and at the same time, I don't want Fox to make standalone FF and Silver Surfer things before the deal goes through.
I've heard they're also talking about rebooting Fantastic Four again.
Are they really?
That's a rumor, but I've heard they're talking about
here's
also
the thing.
rebooting Fantastic Four again.
If the deal
and remember they announced that Doom movie.
Yep, and they announced the Doom movie, and I don't know why, we've known about that a lot longer, and this they've been sitting on. This apparently they've had under their hats for a while. Okay. So I don't know why that got announced, but this didn't. And the Doctor Doom thing I completely missed. I didn't know about that until this. I was like, oh, that was announced last year at Comic-Con apparently. Came out somehow.
I thought we did the video talk. I thought we talked about that at some point.
My memory's not always the best.
Sure.
It is possible that we did talk about that and I forgot all about it. But anyway, so if the deal with Disney goes through, it seems really unlikely to me that they can get very far on these projects before they become MCU things. So we might get the best of both worlds, where like these things are already in traction, and I mean, like rolling, and then that's not the right way to put that. But these things are already like getting a move on, and then we can integrate them to MCU. But my hope is that they end up being projects that will fit in that universe. That's my big worry with this. Because wouldn't it be really weird if these things were underway and they were so far into the schedule that you had to make them and they're outside of MCU, but Disney already owns the rights to them?
Yeah, but I don't want the MCU Silver Surfer movie. And I really... I don't want the Guardians anywhere near this. I don't want that flavor on Silver Surfer. And knowing that's Brian K. Vaughan makes me think it's going to be a really thought-provoking, interesting piece.
Sure, but I don't want MCU without Silver Surfer.
No, and that's fair. So I want this to get made, and then they integrate him.
Sure, but my fear is if it's too much about that cosmic world, they're going to create their own world, and it's not going to be compatible.
Yeah.
And I think that is with all due respect, I think that is a much more fair fear to have than Silver Surfer being wrapped up with Guardians and they're making him like a Guardians character. I don't think there's any danger of that. I don't think there's a lot of danger of that. I think you have this idea that just because it's cosmic in Marvel means it's going to be a joke. And it just depends on
what it's been thus far.
Who's making them? Yeah, because we've made 2 movies or two franchises of movies with that stuff so far, with people that we knew from the beginning were at, to some degree, making comedies. I'm not worried about it until we put Silver Surfer in a Guardians movie.
Yeah.
But like Thanos didn't turn into that kind of character just because he was in one scene of Guardians.
That's true.
I'm not really concerned about that, honestly.
Okay.
I think they'll be smart about that. Now,
I love the idea of Brian K. Vaughan doing a Silver Surfer movie.
Now, I did feel like that happened to Thor in Ragnarok, but that's a little bit of a different situation where that's a franchise that they weren't confident in, weren't sure about, so they made it more like Guardians. I'm not really concerned about that with Silver Surfer yet. I don't have any reason to be yet. But with but I mean, like, I hope that if the deal goes through, that Vaughn is still the guy that does this, because that's perfect.
Yeah. And
I'm so excited about that, and I've been waiting for Vaughn to write a superhero movie.
Because I've never heard Vaughn, not that I've listened to a lot of Vaughn interviews, and Vaughn is very private.
Yeah.
But, like, he worked at Marvel. I don't think he ever did anything Silver Surfer.
I'm not sure why he's the guy they tapped, but then, as we talked about earlier in the Omnibus, he's good at everything.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah,
and he's done a lot of cosmic stuff, and he's got
they tap him because of Saga, right?
Yeah. No, I'm sure. I think he has some kind of Kirby sensibilities, and he likes to come up with really wild, out there, but totally believable, like explanations for how crazy sci-fi stuff works. I mean, I think he's perfect for that.
No, I agree. I think he is perfect.
And if this doesn't end up happening, it makes me hope that he gets to go in and write a run at the very least.
I think it'll be his first film.
Yeah, I think.
Because the only thing I know that he's written is he wrote some Lost.
Oh, I forgot he wrote on that show.
Yeah, he wrote on Lost. He quit comics for a while, or left comics for a while to go write Lost.
I forgot he was on that show. Watch those be like my favorite episodes.
And my friend went through at some point. He's like, "Oh, he wrote all of my favorite episodes of Lost."
See, so if you want to make fun of me for going back to that show, just remember Brian K. Vaughan wrote the best episodes. Did you happen to watch the Wreck-It Ralph trailer?
No, I completely forgot about that.
Okay, we'll skip that. We'll talk about that next time. The only thing I'll say about it is I think it looks really fun, and I think it could be a really good satire about social media and the internet and stuff. And I'm also really impressed with the sheer number of licenses they seem to have gotten the rights to use about internet stuff. And there's a whole eBay joke, and I'm kind of excited about it. I think it could be really good. There is a trailer out for a series I didn't even realize was coming out until a couple weeks ago, and that. At first, I thought, when I first heard about this, I thought it was just a movie. I didn't even realize it was a series until we got a trailer. But I heard about it a couple days before the trailer dropped. But Netflix Lost in Space is coming out April 13th, so we're coming close to it. And a trailer just dropped, and I want to be excited about this.
Me too.
I really do.
Me too.
But I had exactly your reaction.
Yep. It looks boring. It looks really boring. It looks like it could be the epitome of everything we don't like about the current model of
what we
television.
just talked about with Geeks Not Nerds. Yeah.
It looks like they're on one planet for an entire season. Now, this could all be from the pilot, but it looks like they're on one planet for an entire season.
But the production values look good.
And there's no bad guys. It's all just environmental hazards.
So far.
That's what it looks like.
Yeah.
The robot coming from... Well, I've never seen the original Lost in Space. In the movie, you know, the classic cinema film with Oscar Award winner Gary Oldman.
Yep.
They build the robot.
Yeah.
So I always assume that's how it was in TV show, but I don't know if that's true.
I thought it was. I don't remember.
They find him, and his design is weird.
I've always been told that show doesn't remotely hold up, so I've never thought to go back to it.
I never saw it in the first place, except for the cinematic masterpiece film.
I think the production values look good.
No, it looks good. I mean, like money on the screen.
Yeah, it looks like a world where space is really scary, and where being lost in space is a really freaky, horrible thing that could happen to you. And I'm excited about the potential for you know, kind of that horror aspect, I guess.
I'd be a little bit more excited if it looked like a family show.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, well, I think you can kind of do both. I mean, Doctor Who gets away with that. When I say horror, I just mean those elements.
No. I mean just the show in general. It doesn't look like it's a show that like families can watch, and that is what the original show is.
Yeah, but the movie wasn't. It didn't really feel that way either. Like,
I mean, I loved it as a kid.
Well, I did too, but it went
and he's got that cool armor thing on his. You know what I'm talking about? He's got the sword.
Yeah, but I always felt like it wasn't for me.
I didn't.
Really? Okay.
No, I always felt in the same ballpark as like.
I don't really have anything else to say about it. It's just I will try the first couple episodes, but I don't know if that doesn't look like a thing that's got 13 episodes in it.
I wanted to be excited, and I looked at the trailer, and I was like, it doesn't look like something I'm actually interested in, which is unfortunate.
Are you gonna give it a shot?
I might watch the pilot.
Or are you gonna? Or are you just gonna let me tell you if it sucks?
I might do that. I might have you vet it for me.
We got a couple of new announcements for books coming out of Marvel Fresh Start. Nick Spencer is going to be writing on Spider-Man. I don't think we knew about that yet the last time we did our show. And Scotty Young is taking over Deadpool and not drawing it, you said, which is unfortunate, but he's definitely a really good pick for writing that.
Yeah.
And I'm actually kind of excited to try that out. I may read that first issue. At least.
See what it reads like.
Yeah. Nick Spencer is such a hit or miss guy because I have liked things from him, and then I have now recently loathed things from him, and I never finished that Nazi Captain America thing.
But Superior Foes is really good.
Yeah, it's funny.
And I heard good things about his Ant-Man.
I read an issue or two of that. It was really good.
Which,
yeah, forgot about that.
Both of those feel like they're kind of in a good sensibility wheelhouse for Spider-Man.
What Star Wars did he do?
I thought he did Star Wars.
Did he do a Star Wars? I thought he did. Maybe I'm wrong. I might be wrong about that. But anyway,
I also really liked the War Machine series he did for a while.
Oh, I didn't even know about that.
It was called Iron Man 2.0. It ran 11 issues.
He could be great for Spider-Man. It also could be a run that nobody ends up liking and nobody reads, and he's on for 6 issues.
Or just a stopgap run where he's there for like a year and a half, and then somebody else takes over and like it's a forgotten Spider-Man run that.
Sure,
History.
if they weren't trying to tout him up like it was a big deal that he was on that book, it's kind of surprising that he's one of the first things they announced, though. Unless it was just they're getting so many questions about who's taking Spider-Man after Slott's million-year run.
Yeah,
that might be all that is. So you're right. That could just be a stopgap measure. I didn't think of that. Did you see the Shazam set photos?
No.
Okay, I'll show you those later.
Okay.
We didn't get a chance to talk about news before this, but I'll see if I can look that up while we're talking about other things. But we have now seen what that suit looks like. And let's talk just briefly about the Grinch trailer with Benedict Cumberbatch. That looks just horrid. That's my review of that trailer.
It doesn't look good.
It looks just horrid. How come, just because Illumination is making it, it has to look like just another Despicable Me with a Grinch skin?
I mean, it doesn't
right?
look as bad as Despicable Me 3.
No, but that's not what I mean. I'm not saying it looks as offensive as that. I'm saying that it's just another one of those movies, right? Or at least that's how they're advertising it. Like the humor, all the jokes in that trailer are the exact same kind of humor they always.
Yeah.
They always. I'm surprised Max isn't a minion. I mean, like.
Yeah. Yep. I agree.
And there's nothing Grinch-ish about it except for the Whoville aesthetic and the fact that he's mean to people. But like that's Gru.
Yep.
And it's Cumberbatch to have a name. Yeah, that looks horrible. I will not be seeing that.
I don't have any intention of seeing it either.
But anyway, let me find these Shazam set photos. Shazam set photos.
While you're doing that, can I talk about Vampire D for a second?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so like 2 or 3 years ago, they announced they're making a Vampire D series, which was exciting, and then there was no news. And they checked back in like a year ago. They'd be like, we're still working on it. Don't worry, guys. We're still working on it. They said it's going to be, I think, an hour-long drama. It's going to be animated. Originally, I assumed it would be animated. It's going to look like those direct-to-DVD Resident Evil movies. It's actually made by the company that makes those.
Oh.
So it's going to be CG animated, so it'll probably look like PS3 graphics, which isn't great. But the big news is the script for the first episode is done or being written, and it's based on I think it's 7th and 8th novel, which is Journey to the North Sea, which Hideyuki Kikuchi, who's the writer of the novels, has said was for years that's what he wanted them to do for if they ever did a third movie. That would be the ones because it's a 2-part novel, but that would be the story that they should adapt. And that's going to be what the pilot is, and I'm hoping, at the very least, I get a Vampire D movie that I like, if not an entire series. I don't have a lot of faith that this project will actually come together, given it's been like 3 years since they announced it. But if they're announcing a script, I'm hoping we at least get a movie. Even if it's a failed pilot, I hope it's good. I hope it doesn't look terrible.
I'm not seeing the pictures I was going to show you, and there's some question about their validity, so we'll deal with that on another day.
Okay. We don't want to have to do a retraction.
No, we've had to do that enough lately. I know you're going to want to talk a little bit about the DC Black Label thing.
Yeah, I foreshadowed this hours ago.
Yeah. If you've been watching this entire thing because you had nothing better to do.
Yeah, I'm planting seeds and I'm paying them off.
That's really impressive.
So DC Black Label is essentially creating a line for books like Dark Knight Returns and Watchmen and Killing Joke and things like that. They're going to be mature, standalone comics about DC characters.
So excited about
set out of continuity.
It's all I've ever wanted.
And the thing I'm most excited about...
I mean, they all have to be like dark and adult and stuff. And
we don't know that for
it's
sure.
Called Black Label.
That's
friend.
true. That's true. You're right. They are.
You expect a Black Mirror episode to have a really uplifting... Like no, it has the word black in it.
You're
They're
right.
all going to be.
Right.
That's my guess.
I mean, there's a Mountain Dew Black Label.
That's not about telling stories. I don't know how these are connected things.
The thing that I'm most excited by about this is
every time I drink that, I feel rage. No, I don't drink that.
There doesn't seem to be any restrictions on format.
Yeah.
Your issues can be 60 pages. They can be 20 pages. I mean, I guess they could be 1 page, but that would be a ripoff. But like you could do like a 3-issue miniseries that's 60 pages apiece, because that's how the story needs to act break.
That's their one restriction.
Yeah, you can't do one thing.
It has to be long enough to be called a book.
Yeah, yeah.
To be called a comic book.
This is a thing that Frank Miller has been saying for years and has been fighting for, and is how he's worked since he moved away from Marvel and DC. I guess not even before that, because that's what Dark Knight Returns is. Your story can be as long or as short as it needs to be.
Yeah.
If you want to do 12 issues that are like 40 pages a piece, you can do that theoretically. And we know that his Superman Year One is going to be 3 issues, which makes me think that those are probably going to be 60+ issue page issues, much like Dark Knight Return or Dark Knight Strikes Again. Dark Knight Strikes Again is only 3 issues.
Yeah.
And I'm excited to see how everyone else plays with format.
Yeah, me too.
I hope they don't jack up the price too much. If they're longer issues.
Is this a thing you could have even imagined back in the New 52 days?
No.
I mean, like, we've come so far.
Yeah. Were there any other ones outside of Superman 1 that you were excited about? There's a
I forget what they all are
So
now.
there's a Greg Rucka Wonder Woman.
Yeah.
There's a History of the Amazons by Kelly Sue DeConnick. There's the other History of the DC Universe, which I don't know how I feel about.
Yeah, what is that going to be?
So it is the history of the DC Universe through the eyes of minority characters.
Oh, okay.
Here's the thing about that. That doesn't sound interesting to me unless it's... If it's just the DC... Like, I don't care what those characters feel about, like, Infinite Crisis or Crisis on Infinite Earths or, like, things like that. I'm interested in a history of the DC Universe... Like, I'm interested in the DC Universe's version of, like... the LA riots and what that's like for characters in that universe and things like that,
and how it's different in this alternate history with superheroes.
Yeah, and what it's like.
That would be awesome.
That's really cool. I don't really care about like what was it. How did Black Lightning feel about the death of Superman? I don't care.
Yeah, what was the civil rights movement like?
Yeah, which might get it a little too close to New Frontier. Because New Frontier touched on a lot of that.
Goes to that stuff, yeah.
But that's what I want. I want a history of the DC Universe. If you're doing it through minority characters, I want to see
and you can do all
what the social issues of the real world look like in the DC Universe.
But you can do all that with still that street level thing where the superheroes look larger than life and they look like gods to us, and especially in DC because like I would love a Marvels type thing.
Yeah, I mean this sounds like it's probably gonna be pretty dark. I mean it's Black Label.
Yeah.
Scott Snyder and Greg Capullo are doing a miniseries.
I would expect that to be darker than Marvels, but Marvels isn't not dark. Like
that's true. That's true.
That goes to some places.
Well, but it's
especially for 1996.
But it's immediately sociopolitical with what they're saying it's going to be covering.
Yeah, of course. And then what's the Superman one?
It's just the Frank Miller one, right?
Oh, is that it? Okay,
yeah.
I thought.
And then Scott Snyder and Greg Capullo are going to do a Batman series that sounds really cool, where it's like a post-apocalyptic Batman or something like that.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
That sounds cool. And I think they've really found that like you just need to go bigger and bigger for Greg Capullo. Like he can do the normal Batman stuff. Like Capullo should be drawing things like Spawn. Like they should be huge and epic. He's great at that. It's like he almost had to remember that he's great at those things.
Yeah, well, metal just looks so effortless for him. Like that's always.
It's like the thing that's just he naturally can draw.
Yeah, and I mean some of that I'm sure is McFarlane influence in the first place.
Yeah.
But so yeah, I'm excited about that, and we'll see what other titles we end up getting down the road with that. I hope it does well.
Yeah,
but I mean, it's really nice that they're going to actually have a label for out of continuity stuff, and that you'll have, I mean, for lack of a better word, alternative, superhero stories. And after metal, let's start looking at comics more like music. I love having the alternative.
Well, and that DC has always been a little bit easier to get into than Marvel. Because they have so many of the definitive stories.
Yeah.
And this is a chance to create a label that could theoretically generate more of those.
Yeah, that's a good point.
You have your Dark Knight Returns and your Watchmen's and your Long Halloweens and your Killing Jokes and things like that. This is a label designed basically to cultivate those things. The things that make DC a name now, it's designed for that.
Well, if we can't have regular Elseworld stories, this is like the next best thing for me.
Yeah.
I mean, I'd like more of that kind of stuff, too, that doesn't necessarily have to be scary, but... okay, so I still think this is baffling, and I'm not immediately against it, but it's just not the pick I would have expected. So we are getting Cheetah in Wonder Woman 2, which is exciting in what I think a lot of us were hoping would happen. And it seems like the next logical choice, but that wasn't the assumption I made, by the way.
I mean, I have a whole thing about how I've been told my entire life that Cheetah is Wonder Woman's arch nemesis, but no one ever uses her.
Yeah.
At least in adaptation. You know, the Wonder Woman animated movie, she's there for the last frame. And, like, she's just a villain in Justice League. Like, I keep getting told that she's, like, it's her Joker, it's her Lex Luthor. I've never seen it. And so I'm excited to maybe get to see it.
Yeah, and I'm excited to go into that movie and find out that I'm totally wrong for ever questioning Kristen Wiig in the role. Because that's just the last thing I would have ever expected.
She seems an odd pick.
Really odd pick?
But...
I'm open-minded, but it's a really odd pick.
She's a really well-liked... actor and has done some dramatic roles and is a really well-respected writer.
And I just haven't seen any of those. So
you and I, both of our major introductions to her was unfortunately Ghostbusters.
Yeah.
I have complete faith in Patty Jenkins.
Yeah, me too. That's why I'm not concerned, but I'm raising an eyebrow. Like, that's not what I expected.
Yeah, it's a weird pick, but I assume it'll be great.
If it is great, it's smart for her to do that because it could launch her back into more of those more serious kinds of roles, or maybe more action stuff if she wants to do that kind of stuff. So that's interesting. I wanted to bring this up real quick because it was funny. Eric and I watched the Tommy Wiseau Joker video. He did this fake audition for Nerdist where he dressed up in a really good-looking Dark Knight Joker suit, and they fed him a bunch of Joker dialogue from various Batman movies, and it wasn't all Heath Ledger stuff.
Do you think he's seen any of those movies?
No, I don't. I don't think he had any idea what he was saying whenever they were feeding him dialogue. I really don't. It was strange.
Now this comes out of him messaging, like openly messaging on Twitter the director of the Joker movie. And saying, I should be the Joker in your movie?
Really?
Yeah, and he said,
I mean, maybe he's seen Dark Knight.
Maybe.
But
I would imagine... He seems to see, like, the big movies. I would think he saw Dark Knight, but I don't know. It's really weird.
But he just delivered those lines like you would expect Tommy Wiseau to deliver those lines, but he looks super creepy in that makeup.
Have you ever danced with the devil in the moonlight?
I haven't. It's really entertaining.
Does Freddie
That's all I have to say about that. A little bit. Yeah, my 3-year-old does talk a little bit like Tommy Wiseau. Yeah. No, there were a couple things he did that were kind of creepy. You said it was like if Joker was in real life.
Yeah. That's what I imagine the Joker would be like if he was in real life. He'd just be a crazy guy in clown makeup, like slurring his words.
Hardly lucid. You can't play. I mean, what I like about Tommy Wiseau as the Joker, and I'm not saying that should happen because he's not an actor or anything.
Yeah.
But what I like about Tommy Wiseau is the Joker is that you can't place his accent. You have no idea where he came from, and he has some things in common with the Joker, like he does the Tick with the quick plug for a video I did about how Tommy Wiseau is a lot like the Tick. Where
I got these scars.
We don't have any idea where he's from. I mean, we do have an idea now, but but he likes to play up his background as being completely amorphous and ambiguous. Anyway, so that was weird. You wanted to talk about Danny Boyle possibly directing James Bond, or is that for sure happening?
Well, here's the thing.
Yeah.
He is for sure writing it.
Okay.
He is for sure writing it with his writing partner from Trainspotting. Danny Boyle is a director of many films that people have told me are great, and I've seen, I think, none of them. Well, no, that's not true. I've seen 28 Days Later.
Yeah.
Which
is, I mean, not that I've seen a lot of zombie films, but that was my I love that movie.
He did Trainspotting 2.
I want to go watch it right now.
He's done some other films that people really like. I can't remember because it's late.
Unfortunately, I have to finish this 11-million-hour show, but I want to watch 28 Days Later.
But he seems like a fantastic pick. Yeah? As someone that could really, like, crown James Bond and give Craig the send-off that fits the rest of his run instead of Spectre. I think he could be really good, especially because he's writing it. He's not just directing it, he's writing it. He's going to have say in the story. Apparently what's happening is right now he's working on the script while simultaneously working on the script for another project that is shooting very soon. And the hope is he'll finish that and then he will start directing James Bond. Apparently it's not for sure that he will be directing it, but he's at least working on a script. And they want that movie to come out
just
in
from
2019,
having
so.
seen, and I know this is an older movie for him, but just having seen 28 Days Later, like, it's hard not to think that they didn't go to him just looking at the breathtaking landscapes in Skyfall. He'll make that stuff look really good.
Yep.
And obviously he can direct action.
Oh, Sunshine. He did Sunshine, which you hate, but Matt loves.
But it's not a directing problem. And hate is a strong word. I haven't seen that in so long. I don't know if I hate it. I did not like it when I saw it. Why are we still talking? I do not. We are finally getting, I'm the only person that's going to care about this, we are finally getting a physical copy for Sonic Mania. I'm so
with extra
excited
levels,
about this.
Right?
We don't know if it's getting extra levels per se. They're doing some different modes and stuff, and there's something I didn't quite pick up on that they're doing with the retro courses, and I don't know what exactly is going on there, but I don't know if they're actually. I think they're doing some special things with retro courses, but we don't know if they're actually elongating them or what exactly they're doing. But we're getting a 4-player multiplayer, which I guess is kind of cool. And they're adding 2 characters. They're adding Ray the Flying Squirrel. That's a weird choice. And
I didn't recognize either of them. I thought they made them up.
No, Mighty the Armadillo is one of the Chaotix.
Oh, not one of the more popular Chaotix.
No, but is in the original Knuckles Chaotix, which I'm apparently the only person I know that's played. And so anyway, I'm excited that we're getting. See, now you got me questioning that. I think that's one of the Chaotix. I'm almost positive it's one of the Chaotix.
I only know the Chaotix from Sonic Heroes, where it's SBO, Crocodile, and B.
Yeah, I think there's a couple more. That's where I remember Mighty being from, and I mean like that character shows up in comics and stuff too.
Sure.
But anyway, but I'm excited just that we're finally getting a physical copy because I want that on my shelf. And
that tells you how good it did.
Yeah. Well, and we knew it did great, and I've been waiting to get that on my Switch because I didn't want to have to pay for it again, but now I'll have a real reason to buy it, and so that's exciting because I wanted a physical copy anyway. Mm-hmm. So like, it kind of sucks that I had to buy it twice, but it's nice of them to put extra stuff on it, and I think it's going to be physically a $30 release, and that's great. It's a $20 download. It's a $30 release. That's perfect. Yeah. So I really appreciate that. So speaking of how well that game did, there's been a lot of question about whether or not there's another game in the works, and all Sega has said is that they love Christian Whitehead and they have, quote, stolen him away. Yeah, he's making more. And he might, I imagine he'll be making a lot more Sonic games. So that's really super exciting. There's also apparently some new Sonic racing game coming out, and they revealed at a con, or maybe it was E3, I don't even know, a big poster or something that just said R on it. So it would be really weird if they actually brought back Sonic R, and if it's just foot racing again. We're this late to finally go, yeah, we're gonna actually make that work for real this time. I don't know if you've ever looked at Sonic R, it's hilarious. So the director of Wrinkle in Time, which we did not care for, is being tapped to direct the New Gods movie, and that's Ava DuVernay, and
unfortunate.
Maybe not. I don't know what happened with Wrinkle in Time. Like, people like her as a director with other stuff.
But everything else is like a very serious, like, grounded, real thing. Maybe she's just not good for genre.
She may not be right for this
And we have to stop pretending that all directors can do everything.
Yeah,
she might be a great, serious director. She just might not be right for genre.
Because I love Selma, but that doesn't mean that she's right for New Gods. Like,
yeah. Also, they've already screwed that up. If they do a New Gods movie, it needs to be out of continuity. I do not want it in the DC cinematic universe.
They have confirmed that it's not supposed to go to be connected to anything. Like, it might be technically in that continuity, but it's not supposed to have any superheroes in it or anything. Like it's going to be a standalone thing.
Okay, but they've already ruined the Mother Box, which is essential to the mythology.
Yeah.
I need it to not be
imagine
connected.
They'll just start over.
I hope so.
And I mean, moving forward, the assumption I would make is that they're going to completely disregard Justice League.
Okay. Yeah. It is their lowest grossing film thus far.
Well, and I mean, think about it. They once again, it sounded like they had a massive knee-jerk reaction where they wanted to just start announcing things and try to get people as far away from that movie.
Yeah, if this movie even gets made.
Yeah, because I don't immediately trust that either. But they might fast track it.
And she was already attached to Black Panther, and then left that and did Wrinkle of Time.
Yeah,
like there's no confirmation. I'm still unconvinced we're getting most of the movies that they're announcing.
Yeah, same here.
And if we do get it, like we might get this in 2030.
But then I keep being, or at least I've been surprised a couple times of things that I wasn't sure would actually get made, and then like they're actually in production now. Like the Shazam thing is filming now, so which is crazy because I mean I didn't trust that until I saw the set photos, and it could still shut down. I don't know. I'm kidding.
That's how I felt about the Green Lantern movie when it was getting made.
I know you did. That's part of why I said that. Anything else? That is it for the Captain's Log. There was another Infinity War trailer, and folks asked me to talk about it. I'll talk about that a little bit on my live show this week. I went ahead and watched it. I should have done what Eric did. Not that I got a whole lot of stuff spoiled, but I don't want to know too much about that movie.
I felt like I got everything I needed to know from the trailer, and I just didn't watch it.
That's why
I
Eric
didn't even realize
watch it.
That it was that was only the first trailer. I'd forgotten. Like when the new trailer came out, I was like, "Well, I'm already in my not watch," because usually I watch the first two trailers and I stop. I'm like, "Well, I'm already in my not watching trailers phase. I don't have to watch that." And then I realized it was the second trailer, but I'm going to that movie. You'll have to sell me.
Well, I just went ahead and watched it automatically because I knew people would want us to talk about it.
Yeah, no, I get that.
But you didn't watch it, so I won't spoil anything about it. If you
I know
don't
Spider-Man
know
wins
anything,
Doctor Strange. That's the only thing I know about that trailer.
Yeah. Yep. That happens.
Yep.
But like people keep asking me about the new Thanos background thing. I'm not gonna look into that. I don't want to know.
I know that I saw people are not happy. That's the only thing I know, and I didn't look at the actual link. I don't want to know.
Yeah, and like they might be leaving things out. It might not be. I mean, I haven't looked at it, but like, it might play differently in the film than how it reads. Like, I don't want to, like, the only reason to look at that is to get angry. Like, let's just see it within the context of the movie. And I mean, if you take that to its farthest possible end, you never look at any advertising for anything. And I'm in this weird place where I watch some of this stuff because people are curious about my opinion. But much of the time, my opinion is if this is what it looks like, I'm excited or I'm not excited, but I always have a wait and see attitude until I finally get there. But that's not also to say that those things don't influence you, because it's impossible to not be influenced. So whenever I watch those things, I feel like I'm almost taking one for the team or something.